Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the applicant webinar, the request for proposal for the New York State Learning and Enrichment After School Program Supports, or LEAPS. The purpose of today's webinar is to provide an overview of the core requirements of this RFP. During this webinar, we will do some welcome and introductions, do a program overview, discuss the proposal content, submission, and evaluation for the RFP, provide due dates for the submission of proposals and other important dates, and give you information on how to ask questions and where the answers will be located. Participating in this webinar today are staff from the Division of the Child Care Services, Office of the Program Development and Contract Management Unit. Myself, Linda Dara, the manager of the unit, Kathleen McGarry and Sophia Iglis, supervisors of the after-school unit, and Abby Langdon, program manager. With us from the Bureau of Contract Management is Ted Shimileski and Alyssa Lowell. You will have an opportunity to submit questions after the webinar and at any time. Inquiries can be made via the email address you find on the screen, funding@ocfs.ny.gov, or you can mail them in hard copy to the address on the screen. These are the only communication methods until the award decisions are announced. OCFS staff should not be asked questions directly. Questions will be addressed in writing and posted on the website for all interested applicants to see. The Q&As will be part of the official documentation for this RFP. It is strongly recommended that you review these prior to submitting your proposal to be aware of any areas where clarification is requested. Please note, any direct communication with OCFS staff jeopardizes the RFP and any awards being made. Your questions may help other applicants as well. Now we'll go over the program overview. The calendar of events for this RFP. Note the deadline for submission of written questions is February 28th, 2024. On or about March 20th is the recommended deadline to complete your pre-qualification process to address any potential challenges before the final deadline. The deadline for submission of proposals is April 3rd by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This may fall during school district spring break. We recommend securing your letter of commitment, which is a requirement, and partnership agreement, if possible, well before the deadline, as school staff may be off or have reduced hours during this break. Other dates of importance can be seen on the screen, such as, again, the posting of your written questions and answers will be on March 20th. The anticipated award date will not be before May 29th, 2024, and the anticipated contract start dates is not earlier than September 1st, 2024. OCFS anticipates the New York LEAPS will be available for a 5-year grant cycle and anticipates this funding will be available each year. As noted, OCFS, Division of Child Care, will only have one funding stream for after-school programming. All current contracts, the Advantage 10, and all rounds of Empire After School end August 31st, 2024. The New York State 2024 budget has allocated $97.5 million in LEAPS funding. The funding is listed in section 2.3 of the RFP. Awards are broken down by areas of the state. New York City and downstate, which is defined as New York City and counties such as Bronx, Dutchess, Kings, Manhattan, Nassau, and etc., listed on the screen. The maximum number of awards per school district in this area is 2. The total funding awarded to any single school district in this area is $4.4 million. For applicants in the rest of the state, the maximum number of awards per school district is 1. The maximum total awarded for any district is $2.2 million in these areas. The New York State and downstate is proposed to receive 60% of the total funding available, and rest of state is proposed to receive 40% of that funding. Funding will be determined based on a registered or proposed SAC capacity. Existing programs are eligible for reimbursement 1 month prior to serving children, but nothing will be reimbursable prior to September 1st, 2024, the anticipated start date of the contract. Programs that currently do not have a school-age child care registration may submit a proposal based on their anticipated capacity. If that capacity ends up to be lower, then the requested funding awards will be adjusted. You must have a SAC registration for all direct youth being served. This includes all preschool through high school students that will be served in your SAC under this funding. All changes to your existing school-age childcare registration, including those ages served and your capacity, must be communicated to your childcare regulator. New programs must obtain their SAC within 120 days of the date of the award notification. The grant cannot be used to fund existing services or services already under contract with New York State. Funding per site is listed below and is again based on the OCFS registered SAC capacity. For example, if your license capacity is between 7 and 40 youth, the funding amount would be 140. These annual funding amounts are predetermined by the range of the funding slots. For applicants without the current SAC, again, the funding will be based on your requested proposed capacity and will be adjusted accordingly if that differs. Applicants that previously have had an Empire Advantage contract will see that the after-school funding is no longer structured based on the set amount per child. These changes have been implemented based in part from your feedback. This award methodology will also provide more funding, in part to assist vendors with expanding hours of care when needed. The budget section 5.4 talks about allowable expenses, such as transportation costs. This would include the driver's salary and benefits, transportation vouchers, student bus passes. It includes materials to develop your curricula, entertainment costs or festivals to encourage family engagement, highlighting community and agency resources available for families, celebrating cultural diversity, and uniting families. Examples of this expenses included activities for children such as face painting and inexpensive carnival games. Equipment is a single item costing $5,000 or more. Purchasing 10 computers at a cost of $500 each is not considered equipment because the cost of each computer is less than $5,000. Permit fees for operating in New York City schools is allowable. Supplies, including Chromebooks, computers, printers, pertaining to academic and enrichment activities are included. Contractors are required to seek out the best price for all items and services. For items costing $2,500 or more, 3 bids must be obtained, and the lowest item is to be purchased. If an item with a higher price is purchased, justification must be provided. If the cost of an item is less than $2,500 but appears high or unusual, the contractor may be asked to submit 3 estimates for the cost of this item. Non-allowable expenses. Section 5.2 also goes into items that are not allowable expenses under this grant. This is not an all-inclusive list. Purchases of vehicles or facilities, major capital expenditures, costs for the preparation or continuation of agreements or other proposal developmental costs, costs of organized fundraising, grant writer fees, legal fees to represent your agency or staff, advertising costs, except for the recruitment of project personnel, participants, and program outreach, entertainment costs, including social activities for program and staff, unless there is a programmatic purpose, costs for dues, attendance at conferences or meetings of professional organizations, unless that attendance is necessary in connection with this project. Out-of-state travel without OCFS prior approval is not an allowable expense. Expenses prior to the contract start date of 9/1/24 and financial incentives of any kind. Administrative costs. This is the total administrative costs that shall not exceed 15% of your total grant award or the annual award. The administrative costs are costs that cannot be directly allocated to program services, but are still required by your organization to function and run the program. They include, but are not limited to, central office costs such as staff, rent, phone, IT support, accounting, legal services, etc. See attachment 1A for additional details on allowable and non-allowable costs. Contract terms are defined in section 2.4. The contract term is anticipated for 5 years. The start date is 9/1/24, and the anticipated end date is August 31st, 2029. OCFS will not pay for services rendered prior to September 1st or reimburse for any direct care services prior to obtaining a school-age child care registration. Funding is anticipated to be available the first year of this contract. The award of the multi-year contract does not guarantee that funding will be available subsequent years. Payments cannot be made to the formal execution of until the formal execution of a contract, and that contract is approved by the Office of the State Comptroller. I will now turn the presentation over to Kathleen McGarrier, OCFS Division of Child Care Program Supervisor.
Greetings. Thank you, Linda. I'll be reviewing the eligibility section of the RFP, which is section 5.4. So some key changes to the OCFS after-school funding includes that all programs must have a SAC for all children served, including those children who are over 13 years of age. All eligible applicants will incorporate a positive youth development into the program, and eligible applicants will be community-based, not-for-profit organizations. School districts, municipalities, and government agencies are not eligible to apply directly for the grant. School districts can partner with a not-for-profit, and a not-for-profit is eligible to apply for the grant if they meet the other eligibility requirements. In addition to being a not-for-profit, applicants will partner with eligible school districts as listed on attachment 10. A letter of commitment between a not-for-profit and a school district is required for each site. A formal partner school agreement will need to be entered into as part of the contract development. The not-for-profit can have an existing SAC. If they do not, they will need to apply for and complete the SAC process within 120 days of the award letter being issued. Pre-qualification is required and will be discussed later in this presentation. Each proposal can only serve one school district. One proposal can serve up to 3 schools 3 sites within a single school district. Each applicant can submit a maximum of 4 proposals. Not-for-profits who are seeking to serve multiple school districts must submit separate proposals. Each proposal can serve up to 3 sites within that district. For New York City and downstate, the maximum number of awards per school district is 2, and the maximum amount awarded to any school district is $4.4 million. For the rest of the state category, the maximum number of awards per school district is 1, and the maximum amount awarded to any school district is $2.2 million. Eligible applicants can only submit up to 4 proposals. Next, I'm going to pass this off to Abby Langdon, Program Manager.
Thank you, Kathleen. I will be discussing the program requirements, which are located in section 2.1 and continue in depth in section 4.1. The foundation of LEAPS is the positive youth development approach, seen on the screen, commonly referred to as PYD. The PYD approach focuses on increasing protective factors of youth, enhancing everyday skills and decision-making, rather than solely focusing on preventing risky behaviors. This approach educates youth to understand the impact of risky behaviors and to make choices that are positive to their development. PYD also focuses on providing youth with connectiveness, relationship building, developing positive characteristics and leadership skills, and social and emotional well-being and growth. In addition to the attachments in the RFP, also visit the links within to develop a deeper understanding of the PYD approach. The LEAPS goals are: provide academic support and enrichment opportunities that will assist students in meeting academic and personal goals, as well as expose youth to future learning and life opportunities. Prioritize students' social and emotional wellness and increase opportunities to mitigate the impacts from COVID-19, as well as expand students' access to social and emotional support services. Expand students' community and family engagement and programs that support mentorship, employment, and life skills training. The LEAPS initiative will encourage all programs to focus on student strengths, engage youth in their families and communities, and promote positive growth and outcomes for youth. Academic support should include tutoring and services to help students with schoolwork, particularly students who exhibit a high need. Incorporate activities that allow youth to explore future career or vocational opportunities, as well as higher education. Create a climate of support by incorporating the outlined positive youth development principles into program development and implementation, having staff who are knowledgeable in youth development, and space for experience and growth within the program. Family engagement focuses to include opportunities for parents to become involved in literacy and related educational development of the child. Events that encourage social and emotional growth and connection, positive relationship building, as well as parenting education. Quality after-school program shows positive results in the areas of academics, behavior, family, and social life. This will be achieved by providing high-quality after-school programming that integrates the key principles of PYD. This includes providing mentoring and activities to develop leadership goals and goal setting. It also includes opportunities for community contributions and volunteering. When we review the next few slides, please keep in mind that a proposal that is awarded a contract does not indicate that the proposed documents will be the final contract documents. This includes the budgets. However, there is the expectation that a proposed program design will closely mirror the submission. For applicants working with grant writers, there needs to be close communication between the applicant and any grant writers, including the proposal, to ensure what is being proposed and competitively scored can realistically be delivered based on the budget and program design should a contract be awarded. Youth, guardians, family, and community members and agencies are to be engaged in the ongoing development and participation of programming and related activities. This part of the program design needs to be included in the relevant sections of the proposal. The following are part of the framework of PYD domains and features. Assets and agency, supported by the skill building feature. Associated activities will include life skill learning opportunities, financial literacy, nutrition and food preparation, developing and maintaining healthy relationships, and career and skill building. Contribution focuses on youth engagement and contribution. This would be accomplished through youth advisory committees, opportunities for community partnerships and volunteering, allowing youth a voice in planning and development or choices in activities throughout the program. An enabling environment has multiple features: developing healthy relationships, a sense of belonging and membership, and other overlapping domains. Positive norms, expectations, and perceptions. Teaching youth about clear and consistent norms and expectations about health, relationships, and forms of engagement that provide youth an increasing amount of responsibility and independence. Safe spaces. This includes not physically safe spaces, but also emotionally safe spaces. Physically safe places should include proper signage and safety within the program, following appropriate regulations, having emergency and incident plans. Emotionally safe spaces include respect for the students' different cultures and diversity, trauma-informed care, and areas that meet a variety of individual needs across a broad social and emotional spectrum. Social and emotional learning will help children acquire emotional intelligence, develop empathy for others and relationships, and learn problem-solving skills. The After School Alliance identifies 9 key principles in quality after-school program. Integration of these principles into everyday programming will assist in maintaining quality. Number 1, active engaged learning. Strong programs engage youth in meaningful, culturally relevant learning opportunities. These opportunities should allow youth to explore new interests, careers, educational opportunities, and build connections within the program and community. Number 2, family engagement. Expanded learning programs are well positioned to regularly check in with parents, help schools stay connected to families, and help caregivers navigate challenges related to their work schedule or recovery from the pandemic. Provide opportunities for youth and families to create stronger, more meaningful relationships and engage in group activities. 3, intentional programming. Goal setting for children's developmental and academic needs. Designing activities that align with the goals of participating youth are critical to the success of out-of-school time programs, aligning with LEAPS outcomes and following PYD approaches. Number 4, diverse prepared staff. Align staffing ratios, qualifications, ongoing professional development, and overall diversity of staff who support program goals and activities. Programs are often staffed by a mix of in-school teachers or faculty and community partners. Number 5, participation and access. Regular and active youth participation results in youth more likely to improve academically and emotionally. Involving youth in decisions regarding daily activities and providing options based on differing needs results in youth being more likely to be actively engaged on a regular basis. Programs should provide meaningful opportunities for youth to lead, share perspectives, and help shape program offerings. Number 6, providing safe, adequate spaces and areas. These should be appropriate for supervision and security. Number 7, strong key partnerships with schools. Include aligning goals and services, effective communication between the school, the out-of-school time program, and sharing data and resources. Number 8, helping students build social and emotional skills by providing opportunities for physical activity, supporting mental health, and ensuring access to nutritious snacks and/or meals. 9, LEAPS programs will have ongoing assessment and identify areas of growth within the program. All programs will be required to complete a QSA or a quality self-assessment yearly and to attend LEAPS initiative conferences when offered. In previous slides, we discussed social and emotional learning being incorporated into the programming using the 9 principles of quality out of school time and the PYD approach. Trauma-informed practices will also be included in the programming and staff training. Trauma-informed practices include realizing the impact of trauma and pathways to recovery, recognizing the signs and symptoms of trauma and responding with integrated knowledge about traumas and program, avoid re-traumatization of impacted individuals by decreasing unnecessary triggers and implementing trauma-informed policies, procedures, and practices. Activity planning will include ongoing involvement from the students, families, and community members and agencies, including youth and parent advisory boards and surveys. We'll go over some eligible activities. Grantees of LEAPS awards may use the funds to carry out a broad array of activities that support students and families and drive high-quality program. In addition to activities listed previously relating to PYD framework, program activities could include, but are not limited to, academic enrichment, learning programs, mentoring programs, remedial education activities, and tutoring services. Programming that supports and activities that support a healthy and active lifestyle, including nutritional education. Regular structured physical activities. Opportunities for normative experiences for youth with special needs. Activities that provide after school that emphasize language skills and academic achievement for students who are English language learners. Multicultural activities, telecommunication and science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics are also known as STEAM activities. Life skills activities to promote future success in meeting goals and growth. And family engagement activities that promote parental involvement and advocating for their children, family literacy, family bonding, belonging and membership, additional education such as computer literacy, financial literacy, again, English as a second language, all to include both youth and families involved or enrolled in the program individually or as a group. I will now turn this over to Program Manager Supervisor Sophia Iklas.
Thank you. I'm going to discuss program operations. The foundation of the program operations is based on the needs of the children and family they serve. This is part of the needs assessment that is to be conducted for the preparation of the proposal, and the details are to be submitted within the proposal. The proposal should reflect that the applicant recognizes these needs by proposing a schedule that would support families. As noted, this includes possibly morning hours, during school breaks, and summer hours. The days of operation are to be consistent with the local school calendar. The program locations are preferred to be within a school building of the after-school program. Applicants proposing to offer programming outside of the school building will need to provide justification, including a transportation plan, and note if the location of the after-school program is easily accessible to the families. Transportation of students to and from school to the after-school program are allowable expenses. An emergency plan will need to be developed in the event that the schools are closed, especially for after-school programs that will be based in the school if they're not open for 30 days or more.
Good afternoon, this is Kathleen. I'll be going over program evaluation in section 4.1D. Applicants are to develop recruitment, enrollment, and retention activities using research-based strategies. The targets are for vendors to meet 75% of the SAC registered capacity by the end of year 2. For a program with a capacity of 100 students, that means that 75 students need to be enrolled by the end of year 2. Attendance will also be a target. In the same example, if those 75 students are enrolled, 95% of them, which would be 72 of those students, would need to be meeting the benchmarks. Contractors will be responsible for reporting on enrollment, attendance, and the no-show rate for their programs. OCFS is releasing a second component to the RFP for a technical assistance contract to assist contractors and OCFS staff with program evaluation. Contractors will have ongoing evaluation using the New York State Network for Youth Success, Quality Self-Assessment Tool, and other tools. Programs will also be evaluated based on enrollment, attendance, and performance targets. There will also be a LEAPS conference, but more details will be shared at a later date. The goal of LEAPS is engaging children and families. To support contractors with these goals, the technical assistance contractor will be providing support to contractors for areas requiring improvement. Based on a program not meeting the threshold set, funds may be reduced at the end of year 2 to adjust the budget to the number of enrolled and attending students. Contractors will have the opportunity to increase the annual awards with improvements of program operations. However, any increases will not exceed the original award amounts. So OCFS will also be using other assessment tools such as the school age care environmental rating scales, the Devereaux student strengths and assessments. Contractors will be evaluated based on enrollment, attendance, and performance targets. And program improvement plans will be administered as needed. Other oversight tools will include the quarterly program reports and site visits along with the conferences. Next, I'm going to introduce Ted.
Hello, thank you. My name is Ted Chmielewski from the OCFS Bureau of Contract Management, and I would like to share relevant information regarding proposal content and the submission process to encourage the successful submission of as many complete and high-quality proposals as possible. So RFP Section 5.0 provides a lot of important information to facilitate the application process. First, we recommend that all applicants download and complete the documents and forms that are available from the OCFS website or the New York State Contract Reporter. Both websites have the same content, and you may use resources from either one. Please refer to Attachment 12, Submission Checklist, to ensure that all required documents are being completed and provided with your submission. We definitely recommend that all applicants use this checklist. Section 3.2 of the RFP describes the pre-qualification process. All not-for-profit applicants are strongly encouraged to obtain pre-qualified status in SFS, the statewide financial system, as soon as possible. It's recommended that all applicants pre-qualify prior to the funding opportunities submission deadline. Otherwise, applicants must be pre-qualified within 30 days of the date on the award letter if you are selected for funding under this RFP. You can refer to Section 3.1, Minimum Qualifications, for additional information about that. If your organization is exempt from pre-qualification, you should still be registered in SFS, as a New York State SFS vendor ID number is still needed if you wish to contract with the state of New York. And we're providing several links here on this slide to help point prospective applicants in the right direction. The comprehensive proposal work plan can be found in Section 5.1 of the RFP. When considering how your organization will provide services, please remember and think about this to incorporate the desired outcomes and program requirements that are discussed in Section 4.1 of the RFP. We recommend you read both of these sections of the RFP prior to working on your proposal content. Also, please be sure to save your documents for future reference. If you are awarded a contract from this RFP, the application you submitted will become the basis for the work plan and the contract that's developed for your organization to provide these services. Section 5.4 Proposal Content ties together many of the previous sections of the RFP that were discussed in this presentation. It outlines the specific format and content that is to be submitted in your application. The eligibility questions all correspond to Section 3.1 Minimum Qualifications. Please note that a no response to any eligibility questions may result in your disqualification. Please answer these questions carefully and double-check your responses. Administrative questions provide OCFS with your contact information and address some of the topics in Section 4.1 Program Requirements. Please ensure that any email addresses that you provide in response to any of the administrative questions are valid and accurate. This is how OCFS will communicate with you about this RFP. The work plan questions correspond to Section 5.1 Technical Proposal Work Plan, and the budget questions correspond to Section 5.2 Proposed Budget. You may refer to those sections of the RFP while working on your responses to obtain additional background information that you might find helpful. Your technical score will be determined by the answers you provide in the Attachment 2 Application Template document. Please thoroughly answer all individual questions. The cost score also relies on your submission of the Attachment 1 budget template. Please remember to complete and provide that as well in your application. The application submission process for this RFP is different from most of our previous procurements. This is due to the retirement of the New York State Grants Gateway. The RFP application will occur in two primary steps. First, applicants will complete and submit the online application form at the link that is provided on this slide. After the online application form is completed and submitted, you will automatically receive a confirmation email from funding@ocfs.ny.gov, and that email will contain instructions for completing the second part of your submission. This is why it is so important to provide accurate and complete valid email addresses in your online application web form, because those are the email addresses that will receive this confirmation email. For the second step, applicants will reply to the confirmation email they receive when they completed their online application form, and they will attach their supporting documents to that email submission. This must be done prior to the date and time specified in RFP Section 1.2 Calendar of Events. Please do not alter the subject line of that email. The applicant's organization name, address, and application number should appear in the body of the email, and the applicant's name and application number are automatically in the subject line of that email. All required supporting documentation must be submitted to funding@ocfs.ny.gov, or your application may be disqualified. No faxed or hard copy documents will be accepted. Please use the Attachment 12 submission checklist to ensure that all required documents are completed and submitted to OCFS via this email. Applicants using email delivery receipts is highly recommended. OCFS will reply to your email confirming that your proposal and supporting documents have been received. Applicants are responsible for contacting OCFS prior to the deadline if you have not received this confirmation. To reiterate the recommended approach for all prospective applicants, first, please download the RFP and all attachments. Read the RFP and become familiar with it. Second, we recommend you complete the required documents and forms, including Attachment 1 Budget Template and Attachment 2 Application Template. We highly recommend you start the process to complete the other attachments, such as letters of commitment and partnership agreements, without delay. You can also gather answers for the administrative information that is requested in Section 5.4 of the RFP. Additionally, we highly recommend that all prospective applicants please add our email address, funding@ocfs.ny.gov, to your address book to ensure you receive all official communications from OCFS and that our messages to you will not be subject to your spam filter. When your documents are prepared and you are ready to apply, please click the link to complete your online application form. The eligibility questions and administrative questions are in this web form. After completing and submitting the online application web form, you will receive an automated confirmation email from OCFS. Please click Reply to that confirmation email and to attach and submit all of your required supporting documentation. Using the Attachment 12 submission checklist will help you remember to submit everything that is required. After that email is sent and received by OCFS, OCFS will provide a receipt via an email response confirming that your attachments were received. And one more thing we would like to mention about this subject. When submitting your supporting documentation to OCFS, please ensure that you attach the documents to the email. Please do not use third-party links from file hosting services. Those cannot be used as they do not transmit your documents to OCFS. OCFS is also prohibited from clicking on third-party links due to security reasons. The evaluation process is outlined in Section 6.0 of the RFP. The eligibility review, or pass-fail determination, is described in Section 6.1. This is where the mandatory requirements that are outlined in Section 3.1, eligibility criteria, are evaluated. All valid proposals that pass the eligibility review will move forward to the evaluation teams to receive a numerical, technical, and cost score. The final score will be based on the average of the reviewer scores. Award recommendations will be based on the highest scoring applications within the identified regions and ranked by the final average score. New York City and downstate will be one region, and the remainder of the state, or the rest of the state, will be the second region. OCFS may, at its discretion, take geographic and school district distribution into account to achieve a more balanced statewide coverage. Please refer to Section 6.0 of the RFP for additional information about the evaluation process and how awards are made. And I'll now hand it over to Alyssa Lowell.
Great, thank you, Ted. So for this last portion, we are going to just reiterate some important deadlines, in particular, the due date for submitting your proposals. The application deadline is specified in RFP Section 1.2 Calendar of Events, and it's referenced throughout the RFP. That deadline is April 3rd, 2024. It's a hard deadline, so be mindful of the timeline and start your application early. Everything, unless something is noted otherwise in the RFP, must be received by the deadline. This includes your online application form and your email submission with the required attachments and supporting documentation. We recommend working on your applications early and submitting your applications at least 48 hours before the due date and time. Submitting early leaves time to deal with any technical issues or errors. We know internet outages, system slowdowns, and computer crashes are things that can occur at any time. None of these are considered valid justification for a late proposal. If you encounter technical issues when submitting your application, OCFS staff will do our best to help you, but please know that we require time to do that. And if you wait until the last minute, we may not have enough time to troubleshoot an issue that you are encountering. We need to hold all applicants to this competitive funding opportunity to the same standards. So remember, the deadline is the deadline, and do your best to start early. To recap some of what was stated earlier, RFP Section 3.1 minimum qualifications and the corresponding eligibility questions in Section 5.4 are very important, and you must satisfy every requirement to be considered for funding. As you work on your proposals, take advantage of guidance and training materials, and again, do your best to submit your application early. Regarding the email confirmations from OCFS, the online form confirmation is automatic, so that may come pretty quick. The email submission confirmation is manual, so just know that one may take a little longer to come through. If you do not receive a confirmation email after you submit your online form or after you send in your email submission, please contact us before the application deadline to ensure receipt of all your materials. We encourage you to submit any questions to us via email, and again, our email is listed here on the slide. The methods on the slide are the only communication methods used. Outside communication or reaching out to other staff at OCFS may jeopardize the outcome of the procurement and any resulting awards. We recommend sending all communication to funding@ocfs.ny.gov. This might be a newer email address than the one some of you are used to, so again, just make sure you're using funding@ocfs.ny.gov, and that's listed in the RFP as well. And regarding written questions, the last day to submit questions is February 28th. Review the RFP document before then and send in any questions so you don't miss your chance. Written responses to those questions will be posted on or around March 20th. They'll be available for download at the OCFS funding website or the New York State Contract Reporter. And again, all documents published to those locations will be identical, so use whichever site is better for you. And when you look for the Q&As on or around 3/20, you'll also see the slides from this presentation posted. And I will hand it back off to Linda. Okay, I think we might be having a technical difficulty. So I just want to thank everyone for joining the webinar, watching the recording. And again, if you have any questions before February 28th, please make sure you send them in. They'll benefit you and everyone when we post those responses. Thank you.